Welcome to Aptitude Concept videos. Let's discuss the problem based on the concept clocks. So in quantitative aptitude, you will get the problems related to analog clock, that is the clock like this, and you don't get the problems related to digital clock. So digital clock shows the time like this, 11:50 or 12:05, something like this. You don't get the problems related to digital clock in quantitative aptitude. You will get the problems related to analog clock only. Also, your problem will be based on this hour hand and minute hand concept. So let's discuss this concept one by one. So there are three terms in this. First one, imagine the clock at 12 o'clock. Second, imagine the clock at 6 o'clock. And third, imagine the clock at 3 o'clock. At 12 o'clock, the hands of the clock will be in a straight line and overlap with each other. So it's the image of hands of clock at 12 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, the hands will point exactly in opposite direction but also looks like a straight line. At 3 o'clock, the hands of the clock will be at right angle. So most of the problems are based on this concept. So 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock and 3 o'clock. So the angle between hour hand and minute hand at 12 o'clock is 0 degree. The angle between hour hand and minute hand at 6 o'clock is 180 degree and this is 90 degree. So now tell me how many times the hands of the clock will coincide in 12 hours and how many times it will be straight line and opposite in 12 hours and right angle in 12 hours. So look at this image and understand. So this image shows the coinciding time of hour hand and minute hand. So 12 o'clock the hands of the clock coincides 1. So after 12 o'clock it coincides at this place, that is after 1:05, and this will be around 2:11 or 11 point something. So it means between the time gap 1 and 2 it coincides 1 times. Between time gap 2 and 3 it coincides once. So between 3 and 4 it coincides once. So like this, if you count, you will get 11 times. Where it is missing, so total time is 12 hours but only 11. Where that one coincide is missing. Now look at the time gap between 11 to 1. So between this time gap we have only one place that exactly at 12 o'clock the hands of the clock coincides each other. So if you look at the other time gap from 11 to 1 to 2 it coincides once, from 2 to 3 1 times, 3 to 4 once, 4 to 5 1 time, 5 to 6 1 time, 6 to 7 1 time, 7 to 8 1 time, 9, 10 to 11 1 time. But if you look at the time gap between 11 to 1, the hands of the clock coincides only once, that is exactly at 12 o'clock. So we are getting this count as 11. So it means the hands of the clock coincides only 11 times in 12 hours. Similarly, if you imagine the hands of the clock for a straight line concept, that is 12 o'clock, 12 and 6. So the hands of the clocks look like a straight line, and if you imagine this, you will get 11 straight line and opposite in the clock. Similarly, if you imagine the clock at 3 o'clock, you will get 20 to 90 degrees in the clock. So if you have the wall clock, you can take and try by rotating the hour hand and count this coincide, straight line and opposite and right angle. You will understand in a better way. So remember this concept, and if you remember these values, that is more than enough to solve all the problems. So the hands of the clock coincide 11 times. Hands of the clock will be in straight line and opposite 11 times, and it is right angle for 22 times in 12 hours. If you remember this concept, that is more than enough. Now let's look at a simple problem based on this. How many times in a day the hands of the clock in straight line but opposite? So we have discussed straight line and opposite means 11 times in 12 hours. What is our question? How many times in a day? So there is 24 hours. So 24 hours it will be 22 times. Thank you.